We were just sitting and me and Raj were talking and he's like, you remember that scene? And then both of us have tears in our eyes.
Right.
Engineering will let you do multitasking. Sapta Sagaradaache side A was a visual treat. There are so many nights like that when you come back, it's like, is it all worth it? Like, do you really want to do? Is that an easy job? What I like the most, side A or side B, I would say side B. The glamour comes only while we are promoting our films, where we get to put some makeup and then come sit in front and then talk. Andavare bundavare matte tavare puspa chandakki male bilpatre madeva ninge.
Hi Chaithra, welcome to the show.
Hi Vivek, thank you so much.
So we heard that you're very regular to this place.
Yes.
What is it that one thing that you order regularly? Like, what's your favorite?
There's so many, but since I'm not a coffee or a tea person in general,
Right.
there's this ice americano with hazelnut syrup that they do,
Right.
and I love it. And I think that's the only thing that I'm almost addicted to. So whenever I'm here, I'm just ordering that most of the time.
Right. So Chaithra, we have read that your mother would sing at home, and you heard her sing, and kind of got an interest towards singing.
Right.
I want to know that what are the kinds of songs, like film songs, that you heard when you were growing up in your house? Like generally, there is a bit of like a purist approach towards music as far as classical musicians are concerned.
Right.
Whereas cinema is kind of to please everybody, right?
Right.
So, what are the movie songs that you would hear in that kind of an atmosphere?
Growing up as a child in my house, mom used to sing all these bhajans and
Right.
Devarnama, all that, because she had learned that from her mother and that she was doing it. She says when she was pregnant, full process, I think I was just listening to all these bhajans and things like that. And once I was born, I was listening to my mom sing.
Right.
So that is there. But at my home, I think all these Rajkumar, songs and Shankar Nag's our songs and Vishnuvardhan. So I remember Mellu Sire Savigana, all these songs. Even today, when my friends ask, "How do you know all these songs?" Actually, I don't know, but I somehow remember.
Because you're from a different generation.
Yes, I'm a 90s kid.
Yeah.
So I am a bit of that and this.
So you are an engineer.
Right.
You studied biotechnology in MS Ramaya College.
Yes.
So there's a pattern, right? Like, what is it with engineers that they kind of choose another profession altogether? At some point, they're actors, they become cricketers, sometimes stand-up comedians. So why do you see that trend?
At least I don't know with others, but for me, I think engineering will let you do multitasking is
Right.
what I've understood, because
Okay.
especially when you join engineering, there's so many subjects which are totally irrelevant that you're studying over the period of 4 years.
Yeah.
And in that, like, you're multitasking with every subject that is there, and then you also have colleges like ours. So there's a cultural department separate for us to do all these singing, dancing, theater, debate, everything. There's a society for all of that, and that culture, I think, probably will that will continue, and people who are actually interested and they're balancing both studies and all of these things, they'll be like, you know what, I've studied and then I have this degree. Now let me just explore things that I actually love doing, which are basically your passion. Probably you can turn it into profession, but I mean, it definitely requires a lot of patience and perseverance over the period of time. And also, Vivek, if you see the percentage of people, let's say engineering or any degree for that matter, like the people who've made it to entertainment field or any other field but engineering or medicine or anything like that is very less, and that segment of people are risk takers. It is not easy, is what I feel, because I know how I've struggled. Probably I'll still have many challenges moving forward.
Nice that you spoke about the multitasking aspect of it. Coming to cinema, now that you're part of the industry, you know how the industry functions, right? But outside of it, maybe when you're just watching movies, what is your first impression about movies as such?
I was very judgmental.
Okay.
Now I am not.
Right.
Because it's like now if you see other audience
Okay.
saying something or commenting something or
Uh-huh.
just voicing their opinion,
Yeah.
thinking that this is how it works, I find it funny because I was there one day.
Right.
And then now when I'm actually doing something that will be criticized or that
Yeah.
will be reviewed, now I know where that is coming from.
Right.
Until and unless you are part of it and you know how it is functioning,
Yeah.
you experience what is happening, it is easy for anybody to say anything.
Correct.
And I was also there. I was like, oh, it is so glamorous, oh, it is so much fun. But it is not fun, it's a laborious job.
Right.
The glamour comes only while we are promoting our films, where we get to put some makeup and then come sit in front and then talk.
I have read that you had a stint with theatre as well. But could you talk about that one turning point which helped you get into the film industry?
I've not done professional theatre. It
Okay.
was just in my college we had a theatre team and we were doing hobby theatre, something like that. And we used to play do skits, one acts and things, mad ads, things like that. And that's the only experience I have on stage.
Okay.
But we were also doing short films in college, but not with the idea of me becoming a film actor someday, but we just loved doing it. And that probably that experience was so much fun that I one day when I was in college, through someone there was this casting call that came, which for a web series, Kannada web series called Bengaluru Queens. That was directed and produced by Wink Whistle Productions, which is head by Anish Tejeswar.
Right. So in the previous answer, you said that the only glamour that you get is when you promote a movie. Otherwise, the roles are very serious.
Right.
If I look at your career, starting with Gilki, where you have this cerebral palsy, a girl with that, and also Taledanda, you had to play this tribal girl who had to kind of master the accent as well. And I think it was an adolescent age that you had to play. So tell me one thing, like when you get the character till the performance, what is your method to understand and perform? Like where are you drawing your, how do you say, knowledge, or how do you perfect these characters? What is the process of doing this?
For me, I really don't know what my process is. I would probably love to understand one day.
Maybe you can start off with something like Gilki first. And
yeah. So if Taledanda was first. So if when Taledanda came to me, I had no idea. I am a city girl. I was born and brought up in Bangalore. Only experience or that village aura that I have is my dad's village, where I go there like for 10 days in a year. So that's it. That's the only village touch I have.
Right.
But the dialect and everything, it is new. And even if in Taledanda's case, the dialect is entirely different because they're tribal people and their Kannada does not sound like Kannada, and it is very difficult. But for me, when the director came and asked me that this is the role and you have to play along Sanchari Vijay, that is it. That's all I heard. And after that, I was like, I'll just figure out.
It was already a national award.
Yeah, and I really wanted to work with him. And this film being my second film, I was like super excited. And when the script came to me, I was like, oh my God, what is this dialect? It doesn't sound like Kannada, in the first place. Then for me, I always sit through the lines. If I'm thorough with the lines, then on set I can probably work with the props and the co-actor and everything. When the dialects the dialect and the dialogues are set, that is what I concentrate at home. Like that's my homework, that's all. Playing Saki from Taledanda, that was my homework. Just learn the lines, practice the dialogues. And of course, after that, so many elements will add. The costume, the makeup, everything will already add so much. And now you just have to just live in the moment and react to the co-actor. And I think Sanchari Vijay played a major role in how that give and take happened, because he was so welcoming. And when it comes to Gilki, where I played a girl with cerebral palsy, again my homework was to what are the do's and don'ts of a person with cerebral palsy. Like it has to be cinematic. It can't be like an exaggerated version. So you can't humiliate people who actually have the disorder. So that was my task. So I had few doctor friends who I could speak to, and I read a lot about the cerebral palsy disorder, and then I was like, okay, these are the this is the character. These are the things that she should do. This is the disorder. These are the things that happens to them. So how can I, merge them and then make it look presentable? Because the director's input was she has to look very innocent, pretty, and should have cerebral palsy. There's nothing pretty about being a cerebral palsy patient.
100%.
So and also, like, as Chaithra, I also evolved because I was seeing it very empathetically. So I could, I didn't want to cause any harm to this. So I was very
You
careful.
had to be sensitive.
Yes. So then I was very careful when I was portraying this. So whenever even the director said, what, can you do it a little extra? I was like, no, they don't do it like this. Like, I will keep it.
You had to draw a line.
Yeah, I had to draw the line.
So Toby is the biggest film that you have. Of course, SSC Side B is still not released.
Right.
So far, Toby is your biggest release in your career. What I liked about the role was that Raj B Shetty plays your father figure and you're his daughter. So you imbibe the fearlessness of the character played by Raj B Shetty, but you're also a little sensible than him. Raj is more naive as such, like. So how was the experience playing that character? And this is not a very like a physically trained, or you need not transform anything. It's mostly internal, right? How did you go about that character?
When I read the script, it was so clear that I knew, okay, what he is expecting from me. And when, like, 2 days we sat, and I think 2 scenes, the emotional scene, like the interval block.
Correct.
So all that, those are the only scenes I think he wanted to tell me how sensitive that scene is and why he wants it a certain way, because he had written it. And when I read that, and when he started explaining, this is how Jenny reacts, and she's like she's a daughter, but she's a mother. She's a mother to this guy Toby, and she is the matured one in the family, and you have to have that balance. She's even as a child she was the matured one, so you have to have that balance and not make it look very, you should not overpower him, but at the same time you should have that balance, because you already know that this guy is naive, but he's very expressive, he's very reactive. This with respect to Jenny, I had to observe a lot of mother behaviors by a lot of people. I think I started observing my mother and anyone else, like these people, how they react to their kids, and where is that maturity coming from? Because I have zero idea, being a mother. There's a certain way she walks, there's a certain way she talks, there's a certain way she stands, and with respect to how she's speaking and all, it's Raj said she's reactive, and she doesn't keep anything inside her, so she just says it and she's done. This is her. So all those inputs from him, I think it played a major role for me to play her. And like you said, it was not physically draining, but very emotionally draining, because all the scenes that we've played, we've never used glycerin, especially the emotional ones. Both of us, we've never used glycerin to cry, no matter how many takes we took, because the scene by itself was so, every time we read that scene, even after the release of the film, we were just sitting, and me and Raj were talking, and he's like, you remember that scene? And then both of us have tears in our eyes.
Right. And talking about Raj, like, you saw him like as a co-star now very closely. He's an actor, writer, and director. So what is it that is so distinctive about him, according to you, now that you're part of the industry also?
I think he's a very good listener, like a very, very good listener, and he's very sensitive, probably, when it comes to accommodating other people's requirements. And even though his working style is, it's already put down. That's the only thing that he wants. These people have the edit on, in mind, and they are just taking those shots. That's it. There's nothing
very
extra.
Compact.
Yes, very compact. There's nothing extra that they want us to do. But they want, whatever we are doing, they want us to do perfectly. That's it. That's all they care about. So I think that one, he's built a team that is very precise, and they know what they want. And probably while doing that scene, there's no, like, we can improvise, but it is very minimum because he's already written what he wants in the scene.
Exactly.
That's all you should do, and you should play along that. And you can, in that limitations, you can do whatever. And that's liberty we have. But as a scene, how it should look, that blueprint is already ready, and I think he, that is something that.
In that way, it's very well planned. Also.
Yes, very well planned.
Chaithra, when you talk about these heavy duty roles, right? I have two questions about it. When you, at the start of your career, get these very intense and complex roles, does that become easier for you to grow as an actor?
Yeah, I mean, with every character that I am choosing and the characters that are coming, I think it is somewhere challenging me initially, so that my skill set, probably if I, if it would take me some 5 films for me to get there, now it is just doing, with 2 films. And then now, like, I have to think about the next film and then I have to move forward. I'm probably taking bigger steps that way, because these characters are making me learn so many things that otherwise I probably would have taken a lot of time to learn.
So the second part of that question is that now that you said that you like to be pushed to your limit, right? So when you're pushed to that, is there a phase where you kind of say that you break down, or you say that this is really difficult? Like everybody faces that in their respective professions, right? Say for example, Toby, it is too intense for you to handle. Like you're not able to crack a character, or you're not able to crack a scene, and you're pushed to the wall. How do you kind of come above that?
For that, I think there was a situation like that when I was playing Jenny, because if you see in the film, there is this confrontation that both father and daughter does, and then he says, "You're not my daughter," and then she's lost it. She's like, "What? How? Where is this coming from?" So in that particular scene, like I said, I prepare for the dialogues before, and so that I don't have to think about my act. Like while I am acting, I don't have to think about the lines. So I had, in my mind, I know the lines, by heart, and I know the order. And while I'm playing, that became hindrance actually. So when there is this emotion happening, there's this banter, and then Raj is like, he's saying something, I'm saying something, and I'm trying to recollect the lines because we're going overboard. Somehow I realized this, I can't like go according to these lines because the fights can't, go like that. Raj also is like, when you're fighting, you don't think. You just say things. So I want you to just say things. It's okay. I mean, then he came into the picture. He's like, you forget those lines. I just want you to have those, the essence of the scene. But it's okay that if you forget the order of the lines or whatever. So you just say whatever you want to say. You're just angry. Remember this. So I think that particular scene, I took some 5 to 6 takes because I was just forgetting it. Then I was like, I don't think I can do this, but this is a very, very important scene. This is like the scene of the film. I was like, I was almost breaking down. Then Raj is like, what, calm down. Then he came to the picture. So I think that helped, as him being that technician who came and then helped me with it. But in my mind, then I was, you should be ready to immediately change things. You should be ready to adapt immediately. So that was there. I was open to it. I was not like, what, I've learned it. I don't think I can change it. Attitude was not there when I was on set. So then when he said that, I was like, oh yeah, no. Okay, let me just forget this thing. So let me just calm myself down and then just go by how he wants me to do it. And the next immediate take, it was done. That was an okay shot. So that was the beauty of it. I did, that the blockage eventually will happen. I think with respect to, I still remember playing Nancy from Gilkey. I used to play, and every day it was so physically drained. One day I came back to my room, everything, my body was hurting, and I started crying. I started crying from nowhere. My mother is like, what is wrong with you? What happened? Did something happen on set or what is it? I was like, I don't know. Why am I doing this? It is so physically draining. I mean, is it so necessary for me, to push myself so much? And is it all worth it at the end of the day? And I started questioning myself that night. And there are so many nights like that when you come back, it's like, is it all worth it? Like, do you really want to do? Is that an easy job? But later it's like, no, I love doing this. Even I would do it a million times again, over and over.
So we'll get to Sapta Sagaradaache Ello in a bit. Let's take a slight detour and come back to your singing skills. So this Sojugada Soju Malige that you sang for Garuda Gamana, already there was a popular rendition from Ananya Bhatt, right? So while you're working with Mithun Mukundan, what was the idea? Like, what was the brief given to you to kind of be different? Of course, he's already decided the tune and all that,
Right.
but still, how do you bring that your individuality into that?
With respect to this,
Can you? Sorry to interrupt you. Can you take those lines as how Ananya has sung and how you have sung, and kind of show what you tried?
right, so with respect to the song, it's a very famous
Yeah.
folk song.
Yeah.
So Ananya just sang that, and it became so famous.
Exactly.
We were like, okay, now we need the same song for our film, and there's also there's existing version that people know through Ananya.
Yeah.
And now the challenge was, how do we make it different? With Ananya's, if you see, there's that she's basically slowly dragging. Andavare mundavare mate tavare puspa. I mean, the tone differs. So she's like, Male bilpatre madeva ninge. Something like that she's done. But in Garuda Gamana, I think Midun wanted it to be that young girl singing with probably my voice, and it's just there, the crisp. ಅಂದಾವರೆ ಮುಂದಾವರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ತಾವರೆ ಪುಷ್ಪ ಚಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಲೆ ಬಿಲ್ಪತ್ರೆ ಮಾದೇವ ನಿಂಗೆ ಚಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಲೆ ಬಿಲ್ಪತ್ರೆ ತುಳಸಿ ದಳವ ಮಾದಪ್ಪನ ಪೂಜೆಗೆ ಬಂದೋ ಮಾದೇವ ನಿನ್ನ ಸೋಜುಗಾದ ಸೂಜು ಮಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಮಾದೇವ ನಿನ್ನ ಮಂಡೆ ಮ್ಯಾಲೆ ದುಂಡು ಮಲ್ಲಿಗೆ. Ananya, but ಸೋಜುಗಾದ ಸೂಜು ಮಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಮಾದೇವ ನಿನ್ನ ಮಂಡೆ ಮ್ಯಾಲೆ ದುಂಡು ಮಲ್ಲಿಗೆ. I think she's done that.
Right.
That's low. It's like Mande Myale Dundu Mallige. I think Midun, with respect to that, did a brilliant job. Now people remember Garuda Gamana version better. So that is like a win-win for, like such a win for us, because people know that song so well, and it has so many million views. But they remember this because one thing is because how Raj has performed, and that
how
particular
the scene is shot. Yeah.
That scene and this version. So while my voice was selected because they did not want a mature voice for that.
Okay.
Raj was very particular when he was giving instructions to Midun about how the scene is shot and why he needs this particular song. But Midun was the one who said, you know what, we will not use a mature voice for this.
Okay.
We'll use a young girl sounding voice, so
Right.
that it is you pacify that character. It's like someone telling, you know what, calm down, it's okay, like everything is
When
done.
he's very angry
Yeah,
on
he's
screen.
very angry, and he needs this young girl who's singing, and it's almost like a prayer to Shiva, telling, you know what, I'm here to pray for you, just calm down. So that he wanted to do, and it worked so well, because there's always there's already an aggression, aggressive scenario that is
Right.
existing. And if this also did the same thing, I don't think that the contrast that they worked out, I think that worked pretty well. And with respect to how I sang, I think all credit goes to Midun, because
Right.
he was the one. He's like, you know what, you already know the song, just make sure you don't get influenced by any versions that you've heard before.
Right.
Just sing it like how Chaithra would sing for her Instagram reel. So
Right.
this is what he
This
said.
is the brief he
This
gave.
is the brief, and I was like, oh, okay. Then that was my first ever recording in a recording studio.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, now I'm gonna sing. And I just started singing, and it just happened, and that's how
Right.
it came.
So coming to Sapta Sagaradaache Ello now,
Yes.
everybody has an opinion about it.
Yes.
Great positive.
They have their own
responses- versions about it.
Yes.
They're dissecting the film.
Right.
What is your take on the movie? Can you tell us? Yeah.
Sapta Sagara side A was a visual treat. And it was poetry, with respect to the screenplay and music. I have no words to, talk about it, because Charan is a magician. He's done such a great job with the film. I think everything has come together so well that, it's a brilliant film. And the highlight of this film for me is the performance of Rakshit, performance of Rukmini, and every other actor for that matter. It is so brilliantly done that I don't see them as, even when we are talking about the film, as a team, we'll be like, you know what, that Manu and Priya. So it is, we know that these people have played it.
Yeah.
Yet we'll be like, those characters. So that's the beauty of the film. And I've watched it like 6, 7 times.
Okay.
5 times in the theater, and I
Right.
think it's on loop, and on Amazon Prime we're watching it. So I know what is going to happen next, but still, at the emotions that is there in the scene and what it is making me feel is still the same. If you ask me, what I like the most, side A or side B, I would say side B. Not because I am there, but as a story, it is so much more. It is dramatic. It has so many emotions that that will definitely you know people will definitely feel what we are trying to say.
So you play Surbi
Yes.
in Sapta Sagaradaache Ello, side B,
Side B.
and in the final glimpse, we see, of course, your character in that.
Right.
How did you become a part of this film? How did you, you know?
So side A was almost done, and they were looking for Surabhi.
Oh.
Side B is a different film. So they were looking for Surabhi, and Rakshit was preparing. He was putting on a lot of weight for the character and things like that. While he was prepping, this was also happening, and I had just finished Guilty, and I think these people had heard my name, through that, and they were like, okay, now let's just call Chaithra also. There were other, actresses that they were calling for the audition. So they called me for a meeting, and I went. To be very honest, I went there thinking, I thought side A is done. Rukmini is, she's cast with this film, and that's it. Only one, leading lady. And I was like, okay, probably this is the immediate next film they're doing. They're doing, and they have already started casting. So I'm just going for this. And then I went. I sat, and I was like, okay. Now Hemanth came, and I was like, hi. I was like, hi. So then he started telling the story. He's telling side B story, by the way.
Right.
And I was like, okay. Then this character, and then he's explaining Manu, and then Surabhi comes. I thought this is some other script. Then I was like, wait, why Manu? What is this? Then I was like, this is Sapta Sagara only. I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, DM, because I thought this is some other film that I come to. He's like, so stupid of you, because why will I randomly call you for some next film while I'm still shooting the film? I was like, my bad. Okay, now I was excited. I was like, what? Okay, there is the leading lady, and there's a second film, and I was like, what? I get to play Surabhi opposite to Rakshit. Okay, I still couldn't believe. Then later he's like, huh, okay. And then he was like, we're not testing. That day I had gone with a loose t-shirt and a jeans, like one college girl. Then they were like, okay, I'm not doubting your acting abilities, Adelaila, but I want to see you in sari because you look so young, and we want someone who's in late 20s or mid 30s. Then I was like, okay. They're like, okay, one day you come in sari, and then probably we'll do a look test. Then I think after 3 days I went in sari, and then he made me, probably enact a scene, and then he gave certain, points, and I just had to do that in front of the camera. And Hemant is someone that you will know if he's liking it already. He's
Like
that
while you're
very
performing.
while you're performing. Is when I was doing something, his face just lit up, and I was like, okay, I think he likes it. And then I just continued performing, and after like a week or something, I still remember like it is yesterday. I was in a recording studio. I was recording a song for Midun for another Raj film, and I get a call. I get a message telling, "Hi Surabhi, call me when you're free." I was like, what? And then I jump out of the studio, and then I was like, hello, what? He was like, hi, welcome to Team Sapta Sagaradaache Ello. I was on the moon. Oh God, I was so happy. I still remember it like yesterday, and that's how Surabhi and Sapta Sagara happened for me.
Lastly, Chaithra, like we know the persona of Chaithra, right? What you kind of put it up in the characters that you play, the variety of characters. When you talk about the person, like now that you have to have a social media account, you have to interact with fans. So you have a certain way of putting across how you want to look or how you want to talk and be outside, right? But do you find it, odd that people have their own perception about you? They are judging you.
Yeah.
Like, where do you stop thinking that I'll just do what I want to do and let them think whatever they want? Like, I'll give you an example. One thing is, you are very fitness conscious. So there's a lot of photographs and videos about you being in the gym or coming out of the gym, and of course, you try different outfits and everything. So, how do you see this interaction between people and a celebrity?
It's funny actually because I've always been this girl. I've always been that college energetic girl, and this energy is not because I am in the industry now or I am in front of camera. If you go back and ask my school friends or my college friends or my engineering friends, they're like, there is nothing that has changed in Chaithra, because she is that patpatanta talking girl, and she is that girl who's there everywhere. She's on stage, she's doing dancing, she's singing, she's doing theater. So I am that girl, who loves doing all this, and I put in all that I have, and I'm very passionate about doing all these things. So when now I find it funny because now that I'm becoming famous because of my work, and people are seeing me more, they are starting from 10th point. I'm already 1 to 10. There are people who know me from 1 to 10. You're coming, out of the blue and then seeing me from 10th point. So you're forming an opinion which is not me, basically. That I don't have control over. Even like I said, I was there judging. Now there are so many people there judging me, and it's a package. You just have to. You have so many people admiring your work. There are also people who will be like, "Oh, okay, now so much confidence she has. Oh, where is it coming from?" I was like, "Hey, I'm already this girl now. What are you talking about?" So that I find it funny. But initially, there were times when I was affected because initially it was, I had just restricted all the comments and things like that because I thought that is not required. And then people in the industry or my friends said, you're a public figure now, people would want to interact with you, so you should keep it all open. I thought people are sweet. Everybody is sweet. Everybody is going to just say good things because I've been brought up in a certain way where everybody is just saying, Chaithra, you are fantastic. And now all of a sudden I have a person telling, you know what, that dress you're wearing is not nice. I was like, I've never heard this before. Where is this coming from? So that is surprising. There are a lot of people who say good stuff even if they don't know us personally. And today I just concentrate on that. And I've been advised by a lot when there was a phase where I was getting affected. I was just going on, just seeing the comments. I was like, Amma, I don't even know this guy. Look at him, what he's saying. He's like, why are you seeing the comments in the first place? There's so many people who will just say random things. So now I've gotten to a point, to a point where I'm like, I'm not going to read the comments, first thing. And then it is, why do you have to read the comments? And you can restrict that thing, completely, so that people don't get the access to just say, if they really want to say good things, they'll call you, they'll message you personally, and I'm okay with that.
Thank you, Chaithra, for talking to us. It was a pleasure knowing your journey, and all the best for your future work.
Thank you, Vivek. It was nice to just, go back to my college days, school days, and see how it all started. And it was lovely talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching, and for more such content, please keep watching The Hindu.